Lenormand reading for us. This is going to be about the very near future. Tomorrow we have a new moon in Pisces, and my husband and I will be going live tomorrow afternoon and showing you some cool things, talking about the new moon and the intentions, because new moon's a good time to set intentions for what you want to have happen. And so these cards are going to help us to have a look a little bit further and see, what's coming up, what to look out for. And I'm not going to be asking you to choose any numbers, all right? I'm just going to trust that the message is going to flow for all of us today. I do apologize it being a little bit darker in here. It's very overcast. We're about to get a whole ton of snow. But I wanted to talk with you a little bit very first about, I'm going to hold my wand. You can get these. I can make these for you. I made this massive one for my husband with some black agate and 1.5 billion year old auralite and copper on a big selenite stick. If you want me to make you something and you need something in particular, let me know. But I do have wands that I've already made at my website. Anyway, it's going to be extremely, the energy is ramping up, as you all know. We've been going through this for a super long time. And I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about these Lenormand readings. Now, these ones are my new cards. These are the mystical, Lenormands. And I am going to get a whole lot of cards at the website as well. They're just about here, so I can't wait. I'll have Lenormand pendulum work and Kipper cards, as well as transformational oracles and also cartomancy Lenormand, so you can learn a little bit deeper. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about these readings. This was by request. A friend of mine said, you need to tell people about your stuff. So just before we get into the card reading, I want to explain it to you. So I've been doing Lenormand and all kinds of card readings for 30 years now, going on 31 years. So since I was 15 years old, I've been doing this work. And I started out with cartomancy and Lenormand and then moved into the tarot cards, etc. But I really felt drawn to Lenormand cards because it just feels like a very big psychic connection that begins to open with them. So when you have a reading with me personally, it's more than just let me tell your fortune. I want to tap into who you are as a soul and what it is that you need to learn on your pathway. What sort of messages come because of your questions. So sometimes people ask questions straight away that you can tell what they're going through just by their questioning and the way that they question, etc. I come from a very psychological sort of a background and teaching background. Been in done a lot of different therapies, taught different therapies, and created my own now, So I'm coming from a background that's quite well-rounded. Now, the energy of Lenormand, the reason it's called this is that a lady called Madame Lenormand. She was born in France in the 1772. And her name was Marie Anne Adelaide Lenormand. And she was very popular in France as a fortune teller. And she is perhaps more well known by historians as, Nostradamus's wife. I think it was his wife, Josephine, who predicted that she would rise higher than a queen, and that her husband Napoleon Nostradamus, Napoleon Bonaparte, even higher than a king as well. So she advised a lot of high-ranking officials. So she left behind quite a few publications, mainly about herself as well. And nothing really of her meanings, etc., survived, the meanings of her cards, etc. But people wrote essays about it, people wrote about it, people, first-hand accounts, left a mention of working with ordinary playing cards. And again, that's how I started playing. But it you know, working with this, but working with playing cards is not so much fun for a questioner. You know, someone who's asking stuff doesn't want to see, you know, five of clubs or something, and you know, wow. But these became prettier. So so she did read with ordinary playing cards, and she was well versed in tarot and also astrology, and she had a lot of different divination tools, you know, working with her crystals and stuff. I can also do an I Ching reading for us all at some point, if you're having fun with these kind of stuff. So sometimes there were reports that she used a rooster, mirrors, eggs, and tea leaves, whatever you could think of. This Madame Lenormand, she had done it. She had tried it. They even, you know, she was even locked up for things, okay? And when she was locked up, her playing cards came with her. She would ask, if you were to go and have a reading with her, she would ask you what your favorite flower was, what your favorite color was, what your favorite animal was, okay? And she would then be able to get an idea, I guess, psychologically of who you are before she started doing the readings, etc. So she lived through the French Revolution, Napoleon's rise, as well as his fall. She lived off of her craft. She eventually died in Paris when she was 71 years old. So there's a lot of, you know, different things that were kept, different things that she didn't have anymore. There's police records that are still there. So a lot of the times, you know, these oracles and these Lenormand cards are just in her honor. As it says, she would have used more than likely her playing cards all of the time. So I feel really connected to the energy of the symbols in these cards, and you know what that can mean for you guys, and interpreting things in my own way. And of course, back in the day, obviously the travel was by ship, but it can mean anything now, etc. But there's symbology in these cards too, and we're looking at these cards today together. I just got these cards sent last night, so they were at the door. I thought I'm going to look at them with you all today. So I have given them a little bit of a shuffle. If you're interested in any of my services, you know, there's always a link below. You will get more than just a reading whenever you have a reading with me. I'm always connected into, you know, what you need, what the angels are saying, what your guides are saying. Sometimes even, you know, I do mediumship readings as well. Normal tarot, these kinds of things. Also just soul strand readings, you know, connected with who you are as a soul as well. Once you find out who you are as a soul and what balances you and unbalances you, it's amazing how you can sort of shift your life. So we're all in this together, you know, and I feel very connected to the energy of helping humanity. That's what I want to do. I come forward as a healer first though. So my readings for you, although we have a lot of psychic energy in them, and you know, I can help you with the future and see what's coming up, etc. I'm coming from a healing standpoint with all of my work. You know, I want you to be able to grow and change and shift and ascend and have abundance and just be happy, have a fun life instead of a life where you're dragging yourself around, because I used to be there. Okay, so yeah, I know that some people aren't interested in all this talk at the beginning, so I will have a timestamp, but if you've been hanging in here listening, thank you very much. I will explain the different readings as I do them from now on, so that you guys can understand, and then I'll give you a break from it. So just for the next few readings, whatever I'm working on, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information about them, and you can choose to have a reading with me, talk to me on the phone, do some healing sessions over the phone. You're going to get more than what you pay for, believe me, in everything. So I'm there to help. And don't forget, we have the Rock and Gems crystal store. and it's got all sorts of things in it now. So we're getting books coming in. I'd love to do a secondhand book sort of a drive, so that we can keep books circulating, because that's just been my biggest love is books, of course, and knowledge, etc. Yeah, so there's books, there's stuff for animals, there's stuff for kids. We're developing things all the time. So have a look tomorrow at the live show. It's my husband's birthday. We're going to have a bit of fun and show you some of the new things that have come in, and see if you guys want to purchase tomorrow. You can. We'll have it all sort of set up. Yeah, and also like our pendulum boards as well have come in. I'll just show you one real quick. This one's a planchette style. Look at that. Okay, so you will take it takes a little bit of a while to work with it, because you've got to get your pendulum moving, and eventually your pendulum will go and spell out things for you. So this is just a planchette style one. So this is my husband and I's. This is the one we're keeping. And then the rest of them are all 10 by 10 inch round ones, and they've got all different things on them. I just think they're amazing. They're super thick, and they've been hand burnt and made, right? And also, so you would get your pendulum, and you would start, working with where's my yes, and it's sort of already going over to the yes. You see? Stop, and give me a no. Go over to the no, and it starts moving, right? So this takes a little bit more time, but it's fun. If you're doing some readings for yourself, you may want to be able to spell out words. It's not a Ouija board, although you could probably use it as one with a glass, a smaller glass, and put like a crystal here, just as protection. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that real quick. We'll show you more tomorrow. Let's get on with the Lenormand reading. I also have some of these as well. These will be available. So let's go. So if you're just tuning in, thank you for being here. If you want to learn more about Lenormand, listen to the beginning of this video. I explained it a little bit. I'm actually going to get my lights. All right, so I just had to get the light because I can see that it's super, super dark for you guys. We don't want that. All right, might be a bit better. Okie dokie. Okay, Lenormand, what's coming up in the near future for us? Okay. As I said, these are the Mystical Lenormand cards by oh gosh, how do you say her name? Regular Elizabeth Feicher. There we go. What do we need to know for the near future? Thank you cards. For everybody that's listening. Start off with the crossroads. Okay, so I'm just getting used to the pictures. The crossroads of choices. Okay. We have the fox. Don't worry, I'll explain. We have the house. Okay, this is good. We have the bear. Kind of knew the bear was going to come up today. We have the birds. We have the mountain. Sorry, guys. We have the bouquet. And we have the rider. All right, so let's have a look here. Okay, so I'm just going to throw one on the top. What is the overall message for everyone? Gosh, we have the sky. Okay. So the overall message, I'm going to start here with the Scythe card. Okay, this is an ending. So the overall message is that we are finished. We are completed a complete pathway. We've ended something in our life, maybe more than one thing. Something has been cut short. The energy has changed. The shift, the focus has changed as well. And so this card for all of us, it's like we have to move on, okay? Whatever has gone before us needs to stay behind us. Sometimes this can indicate a cut to the body, being careful of accidents, being aware of treachery, all that sort of stuff. But I'm telling you now, something in your life you've let go of, you've released, okay? You've needed to. So this brings us into the rest of the reading. A harvest is happening. Changes are occurring. Shifts are happening every single moment of every day. We are upgrading like you wouldn't believe right now in more ways than one. Unnecessary people, places, situation has to finish. Sometimes it finishes abruptly when we have the Scythe card come out in our reading, okay? But nonetheless, this is an important message for us on our journey. And we really need to be listening. We really need to be listening to this, okay? Listening to the things that are finishing. And just in this little book, I'm just going to read to you just what she says real quick, because they're only really tiny little messages. You need to know Lenormand. If you're buying these tiny little cards, you're not going to learn Lenormand from them. There's going to be some different meanings in there, but you kind of get the idea of things, but you really need to explore yourself and your intuition as well. So in this particular card, it says that danger is lurking from where the tip of the scythe points, right? So, well, I just think that's now kind of thing. Excuse me. All right. However, if there are good cards nearby, danger is alleviated. We have a lot of cards that are going, that are all positive except for the fox. So maybe you've cut this fox out of your life. So something happens suddenly, sudden ending. That's what I feel, bringing us into a new beginning, which is perfect because we have the new moon tomorrow. So then we move on to the number 22. Okay, so we have the, excuse me, we have the card of the choices. And this is something that you need to decide on for yourself, okay? You need to decide on where you're going and what you want to do. Who's staying with you, okay? Who's going to be a part of the next chapter of your life? Now, you can't really make a decision. You can't really make a wrong decision, I guess you could say, right? And it's like if you're sitting on the fence, if you're sitting just waiting for something to occur before you make a decision, you are wasting time. Right now, we need to decide where we're heading. And we just need to trust that as we make that decision, it's the right thing for us. Because we've all had this, energy of, it's like we've all had this energy of being pulled into all of these different directions and being pulled into drama and pulled into stress. And our mind is going around in circles, and it's like, you're not going to be able to see clearly if all you can see are the contents of your brain, right? The thoughts and the worries and the, oh my God, what am I going to do about this and this stuff and that stuff, and this person's done this and this one's done that, and oh, this one's against me. And, you're in your head. So if you can't make a decision about stuff, if you're scared of things, if you're fearful, then, you know, you need to turn your brain off, right? So that you can move forward. And here, it doesn't matter which way you go. I mean, I know in some Lenormand cards, it does talk about, you know, being careful of which way you choose. My feeling here is that you don't have to be careful of anything. You just have to make a decision. Okay? Now, there will be temptations because, you know, you have the fox. So there will be, or there has been, temptations and decisions that, you know, you feel have been bad, perhaps. Perhaps you've made these bad decisions before. You know, you don't want to kind of repeat that stuff. You have to be careful because, you know, the fox here is very clever, right? Of course, they have to be in order to survive. So you have to take on the energy of the fox, of being clever, all right, as you move forward. Make smart decisions for yourself. There is a journey that requires you to make decisions for yourself based on what's best for you. And I keep telling people, you know, it's not about anybody else in this journey. You know, your life journey is about you. And when you empower you, you empower others. There's no way that you can be weak and crying and depressed and empower others, right? So if I was that way, if I was always sad, if I was moaning all the time and I was dramatic all the time and all you saw was poor me posts everywhere, you're not going to take much inspiration from that, are you? Right? So for me, I have to live by what I'm telling you. And I do every single day. My life is my spirituality. My life is knowledge. You know, my life mission is healing and helping others to do the same, right? So I live this 24/7. I don't just do this when I'm making a video or on the weekends when I've got time. This is every single day. My biggest thing is learning as much as I can to share it in a very simple and easy way for you to understand. So, you know, living your life how you wish it to be before you've seen the fruition of it. Focusing on being abundant, focusing on a pathway, being easy, and that you always make the right decisions. There's no God telling you, oh, well, if you don't do the right thing over here, you're going to be in very big trouble. You know, it's not, as sometimes people say, what does God want me to do? What do the angels want me to do? What am I supposed to be doing? That's one of the biggest questions. You're just supposed to be non-conflicted, strong, focused, driven, happy, you know. And if you're not, then you're looking at these things and balancing these things as well. Now, many of us have gone through a lot of trauma. And these trauma pockets, when they release, it can be crazy, right? We can feel like everyone's against us. We can feel nothing ever works out for us. We're so depressed. We're so upset. We're so sick of it all, right? And, you know, the energy here is that you are remembering through this journey who you really are, like the whole time. And you're not a nothing. You're here to generate healing on this planet in your own way and by mastering the self. So what happens is you make the decision, okay? And then you move into the energy of the house and the bear. So usually things are going together here. So the house and the bear, very healing, all right? Very healing energy. The house in itself talks about, you know, happiness, of course, and bliss inside of, you know, for yourself. This can mean a house move, but there would be some other, you know, cards that would sort of back that up kind of thing. It can mean a change in your home though, right? A change in how things are, a change in the setting of things, a strong family, can come up because we have the bear. So we can have a strong family connection here, a strong healing kind of a focus. Maybe you've been worried about someone in your family who's been unwell, and the big bear healer is here to show you that things are changing. However, whoever is unwell needs to face their fears once and for all. Sometimes our fears are, we don't even understand why we have them. Sometimes our fears are things that we're creating in our mind to be true. And one thing I noticed about working with people and mentoring with people is that things are true for them. Okay, so we may find something strange or bizarre, but it's not our truth, right? But someone who's been living with, a painful situation for a long time and feels conflicted and feels like there's dark energy after them and they can't escape it, that's real for them. However, there's a way out of everything. It takes a strong mind, though, to get to the point where you are no longer attracting, connecting with, or thinking negatively. That takes a strong mind. This is what I'm here to help you with. Because, believe me, that was me many years ago. Always afraid and anxious, nervous, stressed, abused, tossed to the side, rejected, not good enough, not worthy enough, always thinking I'm going to be punished by something, someone, somewhere, even spiritually. So I know you can get out of it. I know you can control your entire life and generate a life that you really, really can't believe is your own. It's just so awesome. I know you can do that. However, it takes healing. It takes looking at things as a successful focus, not looking at things going, well, that's not going to work, or that's not what the issue is, or that's not the problem, or no, they just keep on coming back to me and I just keep on being haunted. No, you're giving into something somewhere, allowing it to exist. It doesn't need to. So you may know someone who's going through a time where they really are struggling right now. Believe me, I totally understand, because the whole 2020 has been psychologically abusing us with all of this stuff, and everything we've been stopped from doing, and people that we haven't been able to connect with, and people who have been unwell through the whole thing and losing family members, people separated halfway around the globe. I'm there too, right? Not knowing whether you're going to be able to travel or not. All this stuff is terrifying for people. But with the house and the bear here, you personally, as you're listening, are making great progress. You could be working from home as well, or creating your own business, all right? Generating a new business for yourself, or thinking about it. And this shows that it's very positive for you to do that, right? It was going to bring in a positive energy. So awesome so far. Then we have the card of the birds. Now, the birds in Lenormand always bring us messages. In some of the decks, the birds are, many different types. It used to be, in some of the more traditional Lenormand cards, that the birds were bringing in a message. Sometimes the message was not always positive, though, okay? So for me, I try to make everything as positive as I can. All right, but sometimes in this kind of energy, it could be gossip. It could be people who are really, it's like sometimes people just feel like they've got to sting you, They feel like they've got to say something. It's like sometimes things do not need to be said, right? And I don't know why people feel like they need to get you back or try to upset you or try to hurt you or something. Um, it's like, it's like, I don't know. It's like someone's got to have the last word in your life. I don't know. This may make sense to you. Okay. It's like there's things that don't need to be said, and if someone's got to point out the obvious to you. Now, this causes an upset, frustration inside of you, and you're like, annoyed, right? And then you're like, why is that bothering me so much? Why do I even care, right? And that is actually the key. Why do you care, right? Why does anyone care what anyone else thinks, really, to be honest? It's a kind of a waste of our energy. And I've kind of been talking about this for a while now. But it's like, for you, the message may be of a negative nature, or someone's been that way, right? Especially because of the mountain here. So the mountain sort of, it looks like it's very big to get over. It's very hard. So someone may have sent you a message saying, oh, it's going to take a long time to finish that. Oh, and see what everything's going on in the world right now. Yeah, it's just going to be too hard, and, it's going to be, we're going to have no money, and, it's going to be so stressful. You don't need those kinds of messages going on, right? At all. Because anything can be fixed. I often tell people, there's a way out of everything. There is. There is a way around every single problem that you have in your life, right? Sometimes we don't know what the answers are. Okay, sometimes we're too stressed to even think straight. So sometimes you need someone to help you, okay? And sometimes someone objectively can see and help you. But if you're getting all these stressful, dramatic energies right now, this is probably showing you it. And saying that, there may be a hint of abuse in here towards you. Someone who has free access to you, all right? Someone that just dumps everything on you. Or maybe it's a group of people, who knows? And maybe it's just been too much for you. I mean, you're trying to keep yourself all together. You're trying to keep yourself positive. You're trying to work on yourself. You're trying to do all the right things. And then dump all this rubbish. And it's not just people. It's, news articles and rubbish on TV, etc. People watching the mainstream news where you're just not going to get, the reality. You're going to get whatever news they want to give you, And it's always been that way. It's not just now. So, big message here is there could be actually some good news coming through with the Owls of Wisdom. Something wise. What makes you feel good? When you're listening to a message, how does it make you feel? When you're connecting with a friend, how do you feel at the end of it? If you're drained out and tired, that's telling you a lot. If you feel frustrated, that's telling you something as well. Sometimes it's not worth keeping people around that are constantly draining you out. Or you learn how to just not absorb it a lot better, right? Putting up your protection a lot stronger. Nothing gets through to my energy field at all. I just won't let it. It has no hold on me whatsoever, and it's powerful, and the dark energies or whatever it is that's out there don't even they don't even waste their time trying to mess, and that's taken determination on my part. Because believe me, it's not like you don't understand negative energy or have negative things happen as part of your journey, as part of your life, right? And there's Pilot. It's not like you don't have stuff happen. That doesn't mean you're negatively being attacked, It's just stuff's happening, right? So it's the way in which you see something. It's the way in which you speak about things. It's the way in which you go about, your journey. That you're protecting yourself, you're grounding yourself, you're bringing yourself into that place of receiving, and then you're shutting that down again and protecting yourself again. You're not open all 24/7. I certainly am not. The only time I open up my energies are specifically when I want to get a message. Not that I really need to, but when I do, I connect in when I'm doing readings for you guys, or whether you're asking me things personally. Any other time I'm shut down, because you got to live, right? You can't be open all the time. If you're feeling tired 24/7, part of your fatigue may be that your energy is scattered everywhere else, thinking about everyone else, thinking about life, being fearful, whatever it is, your energy is scattered. You can shut down. There is a permanent protection video that I've made here on YouTube. Do that, and protect yourself. So, this mountain, we can get past it. We know this by now. Whenever we see the mountain card, it's an obstacle. It's a challenge. It's a block. It can be isolation. It can be stuck in a situation, but not forever. Maybe there's a need for a delay. Sometimes we're delayed in traffic and it's because, okay, we've avoided an accident, or there's some reason why we had to slow down to be somewhere just at the right moment. Everything, if you can put a positive spin on everything that you do, your life becomes extremely positive as well. So on a brighter note, we have the bouquet. The bouquet is definitely you getting a message that you are very appreciated. Even spiritually, you are important. You are appreciated. You are worth anything. You are worth the best. It's you that needs to convince yourself of the same. Okay? No one needs to know. We don't need to brag how wonderful we are. Nobody likes a bragger. Nobody likes someone who's always tooting their own horn, as I say. Right? But inside yourself, being comfortable with who you are, understanding who you are, having total acceptance is freedom, believe me. No more anxiety. Because anxiety comes generally not from a situation in itself. No, not from speaking in public, not from any of those things where we think, oh my God, anxiety's going to kick in. It's the thought. Before you even leave the house, it's the thought of others and what they think. It's the thought of having anxiety. It's the thought of something coming up. And oh my God, how am I going to... And you panic before you've even left the door. I used to spend hours getting ready for work. Not that I needed to spend hours like getting dressed and doing makeup. No, it was preparing to go out the front door, and get to work. And I'd make sure I got there super early so I could still have another chill before work started. Work myself up. I'd have my crystals in my pocket, the whole thing was a workup, to the point where you have physical problems, So it's not the situation itself that brings you anxiety. It's the build up to the situation that might be an anxious one, or the build up to a situation where people may look at you and say, wow, that person's super anxious. Like they're going to recognize you or something. That's the problem. So you need to know that if you appreciate and you start 7 days, every single day, 7 days of appreciation of yourself, picking out 7 things that are awesome about you, placing it on your bathroom mirror, okay? These are the awesome things about me. It becomes a vibration in your home. It becomes, that sticker's on that mirror when you go to the toilet, right? And you're like, it says that. It says that. It starts to repeat. And this becomes your mantra, your life. It becomes second nature to you to appreciate yourself. Then your physical body follows. Your life follows. The things that you want are not going to come from you stressing about not having them. It's not going to come from trying to change someone's point of view. It's not going to come from trying to make your partner to be like someone that you really wanted to have in the first place. You know, I wish my partner treated me like this, or, oh, the Notebook, why can't I have a partner like that? You know, that's what people are like. But you're with this person, you know. You can't make them be Noah from the Notebook, or, you know, whatever her name was, right? They are who they are. So if you were looking for that, then, you know, it's not in that place unless they're willing to grow, change, and shift themselves, right? So, you know, appreciation is key of yourself. You don't need anyone to give that to you. You don't need anyone to tell you how awesome you are. You don't need any of it. You're strong on your own 2 feet. That's where everyone wants to be. And believe me, it's amazing there. Okay? It's amazing in that space. Now, the last message is of the rider. Okay? We've got a unicorn. We have a snake here. We have the mountains in the background. And the rider is moving fast, okay, towards you. So this message that comes is going to come quickly, obviously. And remember that our overseeing thing was this ending, okay? So maybe the message is about just that. A situation that has been difficult for you finishes up. A situation that, you know, is going to carve its way into your future, okay, that's going to be better for you, is coming. It can be a message of appreciation. This was the card next to it. A message of love, and that you matter and that you're important. It can be a message from someone you've been waiting to hear from. It can be a message of being fearless, not worrying about all the snakes that are there, as you can see at the bottom. Not worrying about all that. You know, who cares? Why do we really care? Why do we compare? Why do we focus our energy on anyone else when we've got to expand, shift, and grow even in the hardest of times? If I was locked up in prison, I would have the biggest brain going on. I'd have plenty of time to read, I know that. And no one would be able to break my spirit because it's impenetrable. I would never go backwards in my life, you know. And I have been in some hairy situations, believe you me, you know. You wouldn't even believe if I started telling you guys, because it doesn't seem like it sits on me, because it is someone completely different to where I am. You may have also grown and shifted in your own life and in your own way, you know, and in your own direction. And that's perfect, as long as it is your own direction. We can take advice. You can take advice from me. You don't have to do it though. It's going to be your way of shifting into your future that matters. Do you want to shift into the future carrying the past? Because that's hard. Plus, it just takes a long time to get anywhere because you're carrying so much behind you, within you, around you, that the movement forward is weighted down, you know. Or you address these things and you spend time on yourself, understanding yourself. You talk to someone who understands. You don't leave things milling around in your head, you know, and then expect to come up with a really positive outcome while there's all this stress and negative energy going on around you. You know, sometimes you need to express to someone and tell them, you know, what you're going through, so that you've got, one thing is that you've got it off your chest, but sometimes what happens is the answers come to you. Oh yes, I do know what to do. Yes, I know. I'm overthinking that. Oh my God, it's okay for me to be upset about this. It's okay for me to be in this traumatic response because of what's happened to me before, rather than having to be perfect all the time. And believe me, your spiritual journey is not about being perfect, all right? It's about just growth. It's about understanding yourself and holding a deep compassion for yourself, who you really are, how far you've come. My God, you've walked this road of your life basically alone, right? You say you can't trust anybody else. You can trust yourself though, because you've been there with you the whole time. So you have to give back to that energy, being kind to that person, that energy, that child, that pain. Imagining the angels coming in the moments that you've been in your life, crying out desperately for help. Visualize now the angels coming and picking you up and holding you in their energy, because believe me, they did. If you give it back to yourself now, if you go back from this future, right, now, if you look back on memories with compassion instead of, oh my God, that happened to me and I hate those people that did that to me, and, you know, but then I hate myself because of how they make me feel. If you go back with compassion to you, as though you were looking at someone else's life and feeling sorry for them, oh my God, your future now becomes healed. It's instantaneous. And it's like you're able to cut off those ribbons that are tied to that pain and that you carry with you, and you lighten your load like step by step by step. And you know, everything that I'm saying to you comes from complete understanding some of the deepest traumas. Anything that you will tell me in a session or whatever, pretty much I've been through in one way or another, which also helps me to resonate and not just empathize with you, but like really, really, you know, I've been there too. You know, really, really feel it and understand what did I do to get out of that situation and share that with you, you know. So with our reading, as we're moving forward, compassion is key, acceptance is key, empowerment then becomes easy, okay? You've already got all this inside of you. You just need to tap into this again. Decisions need to be made. Healing is happening. Messages have and will be coming. I mean, who cares, right? People are going to be drama queens. Just unfollow. One day they'll get to a point where they will see that and go, okay, I want to learn more about how I can fix that. It's not our job to fix it sometimes. Sometimes our job is to pull away, and then people will then have the space to fix things themselves. We can't fix everything. An appreciation, someone coming forward with this appreciation for you. As we move into this new moon energy, it's very emotional being Pisces, and very psychic. It's very in tune. Okay, so this is a time of releasing that which you no longer need and intending on that which you want to see without limiting it. See if you can work your wordings to be limitless. And if you can do that, what you're called, you know, Abraham Hicks says, moving into the vortex, we're swimming downstream. It's really easy to swim downstream. When you're going upstream, that's when it's difficult, right? So don't put things in your own way to block your progress. Let go. Focus on it being easy. Focus on whoever leaves, right? It's not meant. Don't try to hang on to someone. Don't try to, you know, I don't. If someone goes, they go from my life, and that's that. And I don't sit thinking about, you know, what I've done or what I could have changed. No. It's just how it is. You know, I don't want to waste time looking at people's motives or reasons. I just want to move forward. And then usually what happens is people come back, you know, eventually, having a better understanding of things too. So, everybody, this is a big reading, I know, and I know I've done a lot of talking in between. It's just who I am. I can't help it. All I want to do is be able to help you guys to understand yourself. You don't have to be perfect in your spiritual journey. You don't have to be perfect in your life. You don't have to look perfect. You've just got to feel good, right? You've got to feel weightless. You've got to acknowledge the things that you've been through. No wonder you've been traumatized. No wonder. It hasn't been your fault the way that other people have treated you. It's a projection of their own inner pain as well. If we have understanding and compassion for our abusers, we really go up a few levels. Doesn't mean we have to forgive them and have them back in our life. Just have compassion and empathy for whatever pain that they're in that caused them to cause others pain like that, you know. And that is far greater than hating on them and wasting your energy and all that sort of stuff. Lift. We have to lift. And if we can lift, our reality lifts. Okay? The abundance is everywhere because that's all we see. You know, the health is just a natural occurrence because that's what we see. You know? And at the same time, understand that we're always shifting and growing and learning and changing. We're always dealing with different things that come up in our life or are thrown at us or a new thing to deal with. But it's our attitude and our focus and our words that create it either being easy for us to deal with and cope with or terribly difficult. And it becomes a choice. Maybe that's the choice you have to make now. All right. For all other services, BDevineOnline.com. And if you're a patron, you're going to receive discounts on 2 websites. Buying all your crystals and stuff that I can make for you, like this bad boy, you know, and other things, sage stuff and just all kinds of stuff, bracelets, etc. And you get discounted just for $5 a month. You get a 10% discount. $20 a month, 20% discount on both stores. You know, sometimes your money's made back in your first purchase. Okay, you've saved that money. Courses are coming. Okay, I'm going to be teaching things. I'll be announcing about that really soon. And I'm going to be talking about the different services that I offer more in detail as well. Some people have asked for that. And until the next time, wishing you every happiness and success, many, many blessings, and goodbye for now. Bye.